start. And now we give this a minute to figure itself out. Because it always takes a minute to figure itself out. And that's okay. Because we're used to it now. So it's not a big deal, really. Alright, let's do this. Start. Okay, thank you. Here we are. Okay. So, let's check each thing here. That's good. Are we good here? We are good there. And are we good here? We are good there. So, we should be able to select live source here. And we can. Amazing. Wait, do I have my sound on? I do. Wow, I remembered that. Huh. That's a rarity. Okay, and then we should be able to select this live source right here. And we can... Ooh, 2 windows in a row. Well, what's going to... Okay, so what's going to crash? Let's hit the button. See if we... Oh, wait. Wait. Before I do that, because I always end up doing this wrong... So I'm going to try it correctly. Hit this. There's the noise. Perfect. Now what I need is, I have to reopen this and say okay. And say there. Okay. Turn that visible. Okay. Now we'll do test 1. And I can see it, which means I can close this window. Ba-doo! And then I need to go to this one, and I need to say TEST2. And we see it, and there's a sound, which means I can close this window. Thank you. And then I need to go to here and say TEST3. And see, and we can see it. So now all I need to do is switch to this. And, hey, leave it. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell at you guys. I was talking to my dog. She's licking something on her arm, and we're trying to get her to leave it alone, so it will just heal, whatever it is. So, sorry, I heard it, so I had to tell her really quick. Keep an eye on her. It's probably nothing. I mean, it looks like it's nothing, but still, if she keeps at it, it won't be. Hold on. I think she's trying to be clever and going right outside the door where I can't really see her, to think that I won't be able to tell what she's doing. Which, in fairness, is pretty clever. Okay, let me make sure this is... But I'll hear it. So just listen for a minute. It's okay, I'm still ahead of where I usually am on all this stuff, so I'm just watching here. Just keep my eyes open. Alright, let's do that and that. Be ready to go. Yeah. I'm gonna get a quick drink here of my, what is this? Sparkling Ice Starburst Cherry. It's very, very good. I probably should have muted the mic when I did that. I don't know how much you heard that, but I'm not doing an ASMR channel, therefore the drinking sound probably isn't all that appealing. Okay. As you can see, we have a new image for this stream, which is based on, well, it's not really based on something from Northern Exposure, the TV series, but it kind of is. In Northern Exposure, there is a radio station called K-Bear, KBHR. And I'm a huge fan of the Northern Exposure show. And so I've looked around. There really isn't any kind of... There's not much in the way of imaginative apparel for the show. And so I thought, okay, I've kind of done a couple of different wild animals with headphones images before, but not for anything really that I used it for, that I ended up doing something with. But I'm going to do that in this case by making one for the KBHR radio station, K-Bear radio station. So it's going to be a moose with headphones, because a moose is a prominent animal that's featured at the credits, the opening credits of every episode. And so I'm going to have a moose with headphones. Very simple. Just kind of a, nothing too complex here, nothing too complicated. So what I've got here is 2 different main groups, the headphones, as you can see with their colors, and then the moose with, wait, where's the moose's colors? Oh, there they are. With the moose colors. Yeah, that's it. Very simple. There's nothing too complex here. Don't get me wrong. It's still going to take me a while to do it. But let's start off with the actual moose. Let's turn the colors off. And let me just check. Yeah, okay. So now let me see how many layers I have left. I think I still have a few. I have, oh yeah, I have 56 layers left. Okay, perfect. I thought I had a lot, but I wanted to check. Okay, and you know, I wonder if I need do I need to do the rest of the moose? Do I have to do the moose's body? I don't know. I don't think I do. Do I? I kind of went back and forth on this. Where's that image? Let me find the image. It was a pretty simple. I think I looked up moose, and the image I based this on was a bull moose. Came up right away, so I'm assuming if I search for a bull moose, here it is. I mean, if it's not, this is very similar. I don't think I need the body. I mean, maybe I should. Should I put the body in there? I mean, there's really not much to it. It's just kind of a big gray blob. Well, there is the little beard thing. I guess I didn't notice that the moose has a beard. I guess I should do the beard then. All right, let me see. Hold on. I mean, I have to keep this contained within the square because I'm going to have the logo is going to be right. Oh, well, you can't see that because I haven't selected a group. The logo will go roughly here, you know, in there, so I can't do anything there. But I guess I can just put I can put the swirly little beard down here. I don't know, the moose body kind of comes around if you want. I suppose I can do it. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to take that much time, really. But it kind of comes around. Well, hold on. Yeah, kind of. I guess it's not as wavy as that. It's kind of like this. And then like that. That's the body. But see, I don't know if that really adds any. Does that really add anything? I don't think it does. Whereas the little beard is kind of funny. So I don't mind adding a little beard on the bottom here, where he's got like a little swirling beard coming off of here. It's kind of like a neck thing that comes off. But I don't know. Does that really add anything? You know what? I'm going to stick with my original image. My original image was fine. I'm psyching myself out. It's perfectly fine. I'm not going to overanalyze this. It's an image of a moose with headphones, and I'm sitting here aiming for realism. Okay. Whatever, it's fine. Jeez. Do this to myself all the time. Okay. So let's get a new group up here, and now we're going to get into our pen tool, because we're going to put in the actual lines of the drawing. So let's see. Well, that's pretty good. That's pretty good thickness. What is it? Ah, my classic 10. The classic 10. Okay. So we're just going to go ahead and start adding things in here. So this is on mirrored. It is not. Assist is on. Verify. Yes, it is. Okay. So let's do this. Where are... Yeah, let's turn the color lines off. Yeah, just start with the basics. Well, I guess I should leave the color lines on. I guess, well, no, because I want to use a smaller brush for those. So let's turn all the color lines off. And we need just our kind of foundational lines. Well, I think that line was there. Yeah, it must have been. Yeah, it was, because that's there. Okay, that's fine. So let's get we're going to use a taper brush for that. Let's make sure that is the correct size. It's way too thick. How about 5? See, that's the problem with the taper brushes. It's not predictable the way I wish it was. It's okay. It's fine. But that might be too thick. That might be that's way, way too thick. Okay, so let's do this. Let's create one of these. Now let's go to the taper. Let's see what I gotta do to make this. Oh, well, that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's still a little big though. Let's see if I just edge it into 3. If I do this, that might be perfect. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So, I'll just do this. Nope. Still has to go by the actual lines of the drawing there, genius. Okay. There we go. Let's erase this. Thank you. Okay, and then we can't have any of our lines crossing. Oh, this is going to be interesting. I guess it's not bad. That one can cross because it's the same thing. And I'm okay with, no, I'm not. I want to follow my lines. Follow your lines. Follow your lines. You know you're just going to be pissed if you don't do it correctly. So might as well just do it right. That's close enough. Okay, I don't mind that. That's okay. Let's see. We can't cross anything. Can't cross the streams. So next one, assist. Okay. That. You know, I don't know why. At some point I'm going to learn that doing the lines where I'm covering my own hand as I'm drawing is not the smartest move. Someday, everybody, someday I will actually learn that. But you know what? Ain't gonna be today. Today I'm just gonna keep doing the same dumb thing I always do. Okay, let's bring this down to 3 or so. Yeah, see, this is the trick. This is the trick, is to get this thing to actually do what I... Wow! Ooh, almost. Almost. Alright, I'm okay with that. That's good. Let's switch to this. This is still that same layer. Yeah, so I need another layer now. And this is going to be another assist. This is just going to be the outside of the face here. And this can be the... This can all be the same. Because this doesn't have to taper. So we have our moose mouth right here. There we are. Very nice. And let's see, is that? No. So now I can do the moose antlers. All right, here we go. Just nice. I'm not going to worry about this being too close. Not a huge deal if this is not perfect, because it's antlers and it really doesn't matter. So just what I would like to do is do it all in one shot though. Nice unbroken line would be really good if it's something I can actually manage, which is not something typically I'm all that good at. So I'm not counting. Wow. Unbelievable. Normally, I am not able to do that. And it really doesn't matter that there's some kind of waviness in a lot of those lines, because these are antlers. They're natural. You know what I mean? They don't have to be perfect. So that's really, really unusual. But I'm not going to complain. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it, and I'm going to be thrilled about it, because that is unusual for me. To get a single unbroken line that goes that far around and not have it be a disaster. Yep, great. Okay, so let's see. Let's get another layer here. Let's put another assist on. Why did my little thing go away? Oh, there it is. Okay. Not that it really matters. I'm not expecting anybody to actually show up, but I want to just keep my eye on the chat thing in case anybody were to show up. That way I could just say hello, because I don't mind. I really don't mind people who show up and don't say anything. Hasn't happened too often. Usually when people show up, they actually say something. But if somebody were to come by and just be there, I would still say hello to them, and I would not expect them. They don't have to say anything. I think some people get, based on some of the reactions I've seen, some people get a little squirrely about that. Other streamers I've seen don't like when people lurk. I don't really care, because I understand that a lot of people use Twitch as just kind of a way to decompress. They just use it as a method to just relax, and they don't want to get into a conversation. Not everybody who shows up to a stream wants to sit there and have a, big discussion about the day's events or anything. They just want to be able to hang out, not think about anything for a little bit, and just watch somebody doing something. Whether it's playing a video game or, like in my case, drawing something. And they really aren't looking to engage, the magic word, engage. They just want to be able to sit there and enjoy the thing they're enjoying. And that's fine. And I got no issues with it. So that's what I mean about, I don't get squirrely about that the way I feel like some streamers do. seen some where you can tell that they get a little annoyed that there's nobody talking. And I guess depending on the stream, maybe that makes sense. So for some people, that's probably something that they're really aiming for. I'm not. So it does not bother me. So if anybody sees this and is tempted to stop by the stream and is worried that they'll have to, you know, chat, you won't. I'm not going to bug you. I will not. You have my guarantee on that one. I don't want anybody to be... The goal of this stream is to be laid back and relax. So if that's what you're here to do, then that's what you should do. Okay, good. All right, so basic lines are in. Let's go ahead and clean up the basic lines, because I might as well just start cleaning them up now. There's no reason to really wait. I think I did this one too, yes. Let's just clean them as we go. It's more tidy to do it that way. Let's start at the bottom. Here we go. So do that. That comes up into there. That doesn't need to be cleaned. Wait, where's that? All right. Anything down here? No. Anything here? No. That might be all for that. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Okay, we'll do this one next. It's not that. I don't think that's... It is that. Okay, got that. Come down here. Take those out. Those are okay. Or that's okay, I should say. That's fine. That might be all for that one. It is. This one. Clean that. Normally this is something I do later, but honestly, with this image, I'm pretty confident where it is, so I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to clean it as I go, because I can. Where'd my dog go? Maggie, where'd you go? Oh, she moved. Like I said, normally I don't care, but I don't want her to be looking at whatever that little thing. I have a hunch, if I had to guess, that it's probably a mosquito bite that she's kind of overdone a bit, because there were a lot of mosquitoes around at my... I guess there's... we haven't gotten them in the house, luckily. But apparently there's some kind of really aggressive form of mosquito that has like a zebra pattern, I guess. My wife was getting all these bites and she couldn't figure out why, because I wasn't getting them. And I'm sitting here going, well, okay, if it's a mosquito in the house, why am I not getting bit? Like, it didn't make sense. And then she happened to notice at work these little kind of smaller ones that are really quick, that have like a striped pattern. And apparently these are really well-known hyper-aggressive types of mosquitoes that will just bite you and bite you and bite you. Kind of like how, what do you call it, wasps or hornets will just sting you and sting you and sting you and sting you, and they just won't stop. I didn't realize there were... I mean, I was vaguely aware there are different types of mosquitoes. I know that there's no one type of almost anything in the world, but I'd never run into these things. And then she was telling me about it, and she takes the dog to work, and she had taken her last week every day because I was down in LA for Adobe Max, so I wasn't here. And I think she probably got bit, and she was kind of like probably chewing at it at first because it was probably itching. I mean, mosquito bites itch, as anybody who's had a mosquito bite knows. And so I think that's what it was. I mean, that's what makes sense, because it doesn't look like it's a infection or anything like that. It's just like a little thing. But, you know, yeah, it's going to be irritating to have that. Okay, so let's think about how we want to do this. I don't know what is S? I put an S there? What is that supposed to be? I think it's supposed to be an L for light. I've got like light, medium, dark. So I think for mid, and then that'd be light. Okay. So I think for the dark areas, I'm going to use the 5 brush. So let's go ahead and do the light areas. I'm going to start with this one, because this one's going to be going a long way. And this I don't really have to worry about. This is going to be like a little like fuzzy, because this is where the antler kind of fuzz is. So it's not supposed to really be a harsh line. It's still supposed to just kind of be, you know. So I'm not going to worry about it being too... It gives me an advantage because I don't have to worry about it being too straight, which is normally where doing this in parts would really be a headache is getting these lines to straighten up, but I don't have to worry about that with this because this is meant to be, to give like the fuzzy impression. Yeah, a bit of fuzz to it. So this is fine like it is. What? I feel something on my screen again. Is that from my hand? Hold on. Yeah, okay, it's gone. It's gone. Whoa, whoa, I heard something. Hey, Chameleon, how are you? Happy, what is this? Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing all right. Welcome to the stream. Hey, that means all my stuff's working. That's good. I heard the noise. I see it on the screen. It's not disappearing in 10 seconds like it used to. That calls for a celebratory drink of sparkling ice starburst cherry. Hold on. You know what? I'm going to mute my mic for a minute because I feel like that drinking sound is terrible to listen to. 1 second. Yeah, I just finished the end of the bottle, so that definitely wouldn't have been fun to hear. Okay. Welcome, Chameleon. I'm working on a moose with headphones. So there's the moose. Hold on. There's the headphones. But I'm obviously, as you can tell, at the very beginning. So let's see. Haven't been able to catch live stream in a minute. Excited that I finally called. Hey, I'm happy you're here. Listen, they're always on the YouTube channel too. So if you can't make the live stream, I understand. People have stuff going on. I completely understand that. So if you're ever, you want to see the past stuff, then it's always going to be on the YouTube channel. Same name as this. It'll be there. So if you can't make it, not a problem. I understand that not everybody... Look, there's streams that I barely ever make. I actually got to see one today. There's a couple of people that do a live stream. It's always the same time. It's always Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific. And I always intend to catch it. And I should say more like 24 times out of 25, somehow something comes up, or I'm away from the computer, whatever, and I somehow miss it. And it just always irritates me because almost every time that I miss it, it's actually up in the window. Like I've got the YouTube window open. And then whatever, I'm just not there at the time. Something always seems to come up. Today was a rare case where I was able to catch it. So I get it because it does happen. Oh, you know what that reminds me? Hold on, I'm going to put this here so you can look at it for a minute. I got to check one quick thing that I forgot to look up. Sorry, this is a terrible thing to do on a stream. But I just need to check. I've just been busy with my job and working on my art. Hey, that's a good thing to be busy with. It's a great thing to be busy with. If you're working on art, let me tell you something. That should be a priority over watching my stream. Make your art. That is far, far more important. I'll tell you that with no hesitation. Let's see. I'm sorry. I just have to check because I want to make sure that I sent a message to somebody. I was supposed to send a confirmation of something today, and I know that I forget these things. I just thought of it now, and if I don't do it now, I will forget before the night's out, and I'll completely forget. So hold on 1 second. This will only take me a minute because I'm one of those people. If I don't do things when I think of them, I just will not do them. It's a terrible thing. Even when I have reminders, the reminder will go off and I'll say, oh, okay, I'm going to do that. And if I don't do it right that second, it's not going to happen. Okay, so come on. Jeez, why is this being so slow now? Of course, because I'm on a stream. That's why. That's why it's being slow. Here, let's get you a nice close-up of some of those. Those are all the different areas where the shading is going to go. And, okay, here we go. So, today. Okay, yes. Where am I? Oh, I'm getting lost in my own... Oh, I know what I'm doing. Okay. Right. And... Okay, and select, and... Where's the send button? Oh, there it is. Okay, that's a lot of shit. Yeah, well, it won't be because don't forget, I don't do really detailed shading. I'm doing kind of broad colors. So it's not really that bad. It looks more complicated than it actually will be. So it's fine. It will be, wait, is today's Wednesday? Yes. Okay. Just checking. I could not remember what day it was. Okay. Sorry. That's done. Back to it. I apologize for that, but it was one of those things. If I didn't do it right now, I wouldn't do it. I really am terrible at that. And it's just how my brain works. I have it's got to be an ADD thing or ADHD, whatever it is, where I will just ping pong from one thing to the other. And I almost immediately forget what I was supposed to do. And like I said, the problem is well, I guess there kind of is. There does not exist the technology to help me with that problem because I would need unless there is, I guess I could look and see if there's like certain types of custom alarms. Maybe there are, because there's times where an alarm will go off on my phone and I'll mark it complete. And then, well, I guess it's just the nature of training myself. It's just a habit I have to form. Or maybe I don't mark something complete until after I've completed it, as opposed to, I'm going to do that right now, and I mark it complete, and then I get caught up with something. So maybe that's actually my problem. Let's be honest. I don't know the technology is going to solve that particular issue of mine. So it probably is something I need to work on and get fixed. Okay. Let's see. I see alarms and forget what they were. I'm good about naming them. I will say that. I'm very good about naming my various alarms. That I'm pretty good with. Unlike, say, layers, I am good at naming my alarms. I am pretty good. I don't generally set an alarm unless I can give it a specific name. So, unless it's something like I'm setting a timer in the house. So if I'm asking what's-her-face, I'm not going to say it in case I want to trigger anybody's Apple speakers, but if I tell Apple's assistant to set a timer, I won't give it a name, because I think you can actually name those. But I won't say, like, set a pasta timer. I just say, set a timer for this amount of minutes. I'll know what that's for then. But when it's something on my phone where it's going to go off as a reminder, like a task or an event, then I always name them. I'm too lazy to name anything except characters and documents in my phone notes. Well, I think that's most people. Honestly, I just happen to be pretty good about it on my phone for some reason. I'm very good about it on my phone. I'm not great on it anywhere else, but on my phone, I seem to have somehow formed that habit early. So I'm pretty good at that. But other places, not so much. So, yeah. But, yeah, I was not originally planning to do a stream tonight, but I had a little 45-minute block of time. And since I wasn't able to stream last week, I figured, okay, well, I'll do 2 this week, and then, that'll balance it out. Why? Because your phone is always with you. Yeah, it could be. It could be. Yeah, well, and maybe it's because, too, you have to remember, I'm old enough to have come from not ever having cell phones and persistent internet to having them. So my first cell phone was actually a Palm Trio. Now, if you've never even heard of the Palm name, which at this point, probably anybody younger hasn't, the Palm Trio was kind of the first real smartphone. Now, in comparison to what we have now, it's laughably primitive. But at the time, it was something, it actually formed, I believe the Palm Pilot came before the Trio. And the Palm Pilot was a digital assistant with no cellular capabilities. It was literally just a little, like a fat little tiny iPad, literally with a stylus, and you would write notes and stuff. And I think because my first smart device was a Palm Pilot with no phone capability, just made for notes and stuff like that, that's been an association to a pocket smart device all my life. That's probably really why, as opposed to, me just having good habit forming techniques. I don't think it's that. I think it's probably because I came up on a Palm Pilot. I bet money that's what it is. Which, again, is something that, at this point, everybody just has cell phones. They're all smart. It's so far beyond that, what a Palm Pilot was. The earliest phone I remember is my dad's old flip phone, and it was old when I was old. Yeah, that's what I mean, is most people most people's association with it. Well, look it up if you're curious. Pull up a web browser, and I think it was the Palm Trio 600. I want to say, or no, the Palm Pilot. I don't remember which model Palm Pilot I had, and I really only had that because of work. Oh yeah. Oh my. Look at this thing. Ho ho ho. Oh, the Palm Pilot. I definitely didn't have that first version because I'm looking at the models. I'm just curious what here it is, Palm Pilot. Launched in 1997. Yeah, let's see. I think I had the 3. Yeah, that looks right. I did not have the 1. I did not have the 2. I had the Palm 3. That I remember having. And it was a very simple device. And then my first cell phone, well, my first work cell phone was a Palm Trio, which is it's just a Palm Pilot with color. Oh yeah, they listen, at the time, just like everything, at the time, it was incredible because, it was the equivalent, even though, you can tell it's not an iPhone, but it was the equivalent of an iPhone because it was a little touchscreen computer. Barely had any memory to speak of. It was, again, very, very early on when nobody had even imagined that most people would have cell phones. That was still way off. And then the Palm Trio, that was the touchscreen device for a long time. Again, the idea of an all glass touchscreen without a stylus was science fiction. You didn't even think that was going to be a thing. Everybody thought it was going to be styluses. Everybody was using them. And then, of course, the iPhone came along, and BlackBerry, too. There were several. It wasn't just one thing. But the iPhone, of course, is what really set it in stone, is then it became touchscreens. Now we're back to, Samsung devices have styluses and styli. I don't know what I don't know what the plural of stylus is. Is it stylus? Might be. But Samsung has them, but even the original iPad, Steve Jobs was against the idea of styluses. He didn't think you should need a stylus with a touchscreen. He was all in on the touch experience. Well, that's obviously changed. I'm right now using an Apple Pencil, which is a magnificent stylus, but that's all it is. It's a stylus. And the Palm Pilot is really where that started, and that was the idea of a smart device, which you are seeing those again. The Boox Palma. I have one of those. It's an e-ink device. I mean, it's basically a Palm Pilot. That's what it is without the stylus. But for all intents and purposes, that's what it is because it doesn't have cellular. It doesn't have a SIM card slot. It's purely a smart kind of personal companion or personal assistant. They used to call them personal assistants. Obviously, now you have voice assistants, so that name would probably not fly anymore, but that's what it was. And lots of people had them, especially if you were in business with a capital B, or you worked at a place where you had to have technology to take notes and look like you were slick. You had a Palm Pilot. And then a Palm Trio, and then a BlackBerry, and now, of course, it's iPhone or Android. But there was a period of time where lots of different people were making lots of different weird devices. Here's something else. You want to look up something really weird that actually I wouldn't mind if this form of computer still existed. Toshiba, I believe, made a very slim-looking, I think it was the Toshiba Libretto. Look up the Toshiba Libretto laptop. It literally was like a palm top. It was a really strange, small form factor computer with almost what a fold device is today, or like a smart case on an iPad, but a computer. It was a Windows computer. I don't remember which one I had. I definitely didn't have the last one they made. I had one. The one I had was probably past the halfway point of its life, but not towards the end. If I saw it, I would remember it instantly. I had it for a long time, and the interesting part of the Libretto, they were great. I still would not mind having one of these. It might have been the 100 CT. It might have been that one. The funny part about the one that I had, I got it. I don't remember where I got it. I bought it from somebody. And whatever that person was doing with it The reason I got it cheap was it ran Windows. It ran a full version of Windows. Windows XP, it ran it. But the one that I got was stuck in the Japanese version. So all the characters and everything were in Japanese. Now, luckily, you could kind of get around that because you could Englishify the interface to a large degree. And I figured out how to do that. Now, remember, I had to find somebody who could read Japanese. This was before we had translators on phones and everything. This was a while ago, so it wasn't like it is now. So actually, I found somebody, because I had this thing in my first couple of years of college. I found somebody who could read Japanese and was able to set most of the computer into English, and I was able to use it. Now, it was not an impressive computer to use, but again, at the time, you either had a big, heavy brick laptop, like heavy, or you had one of these little things that you could just put into a bag. This was way before there were MacBook Airs and all the rest of this, like slim computers or foldables. None of that stuff existed. The Libretto was a kind of foldable for all intents and purposes. And it worked well for simple stuff, like Word documents, that type, lightweight. What now would, for a while they had, what were they called? They were called netbooks. Netbooks, that was like the first netbook where the idea was, okay, oh, I missed the thing there. I just realized I missed the line. Hold on, I have to fix that. Well, let me do the interior first. Netbooks were this concept for a while of very lightweight computers that were basically a MacBook Air, but not nearly as powerful as a MacBook Air. But the same idea. Portable computers that for people on the go or that didn't need heavy computing, you would use what was called a netbook. It's a crazy idea. But that's what, basically that's what a Libretto was. It was the first version of a netbook before there were netbooks. That's all it was. But it was a neat little computer. It was really neat. I liked it. I liked it a lot. Even though, like I said, it took a while for me to get it to work because it was in Japanese, but that's okay. That's okay, because fortunately in Windows, you can basically use whatever language you want for a lot of the stuff. But that was a fun little computer. I held on to that computer well past the point where it was actually usable because I just enjoyed having it so much. It was a neat computer. So, yeah, the Toshiba Libretto. Neat little computer. Wait a minute, make sure I'm on the wrong thing. I need to go down here. Yeah, that's that. Go up. New layer. Sorry about yawning. Hold on. Is that? Yes, that's 5. Okay. But, yeah, the Libretto. The Libretto. What a fun little machine that was. See, stuff like that I miss. I miss the weird little, you still see it. Don't get me wrong. There's still people who make it. But it doesn't feel like it's quite as much as it used to be, where there was a lot of experimentation with devices. And I think that's just because now the market is so mature and tightened up that there isn't the... You still see things like the Framework. I really like the Framework company and what they do. That's really neat. But you don't see a lot of that anymore. Or the Bux Palma, another good example. That thing is really, really neat. I like it. It's just smart enough without being a real smart device, which I like. So you do still see it. You just don't see it as much. And I think that's a bit of a shame. You do miss these weird products that, not many people even used, but they were really kind of cool that they were around. Like I said, it's not completely gone. It's just not as pervasive. I mean, even in the early days of smartphones, there were some weird smart cell phones that people were making. I have to hop off. Gotta sleep. All right, hey Chameleon, thanks for stopping by, man. Have a good sleep. Thanks for being here and hanging out for a little bit. That's okay. Rest is important. Go get your rest. This is why I say this stuff all goes on the YouTube channel. I don't mind when people watch it. If they watch it later, that's fine. But thank you for stopping in and saying hello. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, which I guess is going to be over hopefully pretty shortly if you're going to sleep. So have a nice sleep. Sleep is very important. Very important. So, oh, I forgot I got to do this down here. Let's go back to 10. Let's go to this layer maybe. Yeah, that'll work. What layer is that? Let me just check what this is. Oh yeah, that's fine. And let's give the moose a mouth. There we go. Moose has got to have a mouth. He's got to eat. Moose has got to eat. There we go. Okay. I don't know, man. That moose mouth might be too small. I don't think I want to make him smiling. I don't think. Do I want to make him smiling? You know what? Maybe I should make him smiling. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad if he had a bit of a smile to him. Let's see. Let's just see how that looks. Might look really dumb. I don't know. Now that I think about it, I don't know what moose. I mean, he does look a little nicer like that. Let me take a look. Let me see. I mean, I'm searching for smiling moose, which will probably just give me cartoon stuff. But oh no, look at that! There's actual pictures of real moose that are kind of smiling. Okay, well that one, it looks like he's laughing. Oh yeah, okay. You know what? I like that one. Wait a minute. Okay, I have one to base the mouth off of now. So it's kind of like a round mouth on the bottom. So it's kind of like this. That's actually what it looks like on a real moose. So something like that. And then, hold on, I'm looking at the picture. And then, okay, so there's some teeth. So basically then there's like a bottom lip. So kind of like this. So yeah, maybe he should look happy because he's listening to the radio. Okay with that idea. All right, now the teeth. Wait, are those? Yeah, that's the teeth. Okay, so what we need to do is, hold on. Let's do this. Let's clean this up. Yep. Yeah, I kind of like him looking happier as opposed to just looking a little bit grim-ish. Okay, so let's see the teeth. So I'm going to need a smaller brush. So we're going to drop down to 5. Let's come down here. Actually, let's go right here. Let's do an assist. Okay, so the teeth. Let me take a bigger look at this picture here. Oh yeah, it's just got like a little row of teeth there. Okay, so it's kind of like that. Wow, moose have big teeth. They really do. They have some big teeth. Okay. And then we'll do like this. Kind of comes up, loops in, and comes down. Like that. That's basically what it looks like. Well, okay, no, that shape's a little weird. Hold on. So it's more like it starts here and comes up, and then loops around. Into here, loops back. So sort of like that. Yeah, that's kind of it. Basically. Well, yeah, I guess the tops actually do meet. Hold on. Sorry, I'm revising this as I'm doing it because I'm looking at a picture of a moose with its teeth, and I'm trying to make sure I get this to look like it's supposed to. So I guess actually these should meet up here like that. That's how it looks in the picture. Okay. Yeah, that's basically moose teeth. All right. And then there's just a little bit of a ridge here like that. And then these would have a little bit of a ridge here like that. And there we have a smiling moose. Yeah, okay, I'm liking that. That's good. I want my moose to be jovial. I want him to look like he's happy to be listening to the radio. It's nice fancy headphones. And then the interesting part is there is actually like a little bit of a gum line there. So let's go ahead. We're going to bump that up to 5, and we'll just have, because it's basically black. The gums are black. So let's just do kind of this. Whoa, wait a minute. Oh, I didn't do the right thing. 10. Because basically the gums are basically, they're black. For the most part, they are. Okay. Well, there we go. We have a smiling moose. And then I do need a bit of a shading line on the bottom. Which layer is this? Let's use Yeah, let's use this layer. Because he's got like a little bit of a... I mean, it's lips, so... All right, so we'll soften this a little bit. We'll make this a little bit soft since it's the lip part here. There we go. All right. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So, now, the rest of it, let's see. I wonder if these taper lines were a dumb idea, because I'm just going to end up... No, you know what? They're not. I know what I'm going to do here. We're going to do a little bit of free-form stuff here just to get around this problem that I've created for myself, which is fine. I'm really not worried about it. So let's do this. Just going to follow that. Like that. And then... Ooh, this will be interesting. How am I going to tackle that? Well, you know what? Don't tackle it right now. Wait until you're ready to deal with it, and deal with it then. For now, just keep going. Good tip for everybody. Don't worry about a problem if it's not right in front of you. Deal with the things you can deal with immediately, and come back to the other problems later. They won't have gone away, I promise. Problems generally don't just go away. There's a wonderful life lesson that you absolutely did. Oh, I've got my screen in front of me. I don't need the moose picture anymore. I got it. He's smiling. I got it. Okay. I was itching. Where are we at time-wise? Where are we? Oh, wow. Jeez. Okay. Well, we'll do another about 10 minutes, and then I'll be done. So I'm actually in the middle of editing. That's why this was a nice break. I'm editing the next video for the movie review channel, the double feature movie review channel, which is a pair of David Lynch films, which are Lost Highway and Inland Empire. Very, very interesting movies in what I would consider... Early Lynch is the wrong word for it, but kind of... I guess it is. It's not early Lynch in terms of chronology. But I find that Inland Empire in particular is a good movie for people who aren't sure if David Lynch is for them. That is what I would call Lost Highway. Lost Highway is a good starter film for anybody who is Lynch curious. That was the phrase I used, and I think it's a good one for it. Because it's just... enough of what David Lynch is generally known for in terms of the way he tells his stories and the way that he explores identity and just his filmmaking style in general. I think Lost Highway is a good introduction point for a lot of people. And then, that's where you can determine, is this really the kind of movie I want to be watching? Because it doesn't make it easy. And when I say that, what I mean is you have to interpret a lot of stuff. That was a Lynch hallmark, for those who aren't familiar with his work. David Lynch was not big on explaining lots of things. He wanted you to bring something into the movie. He wanted you to provide context of your own. Well, what does this mean to me type of stuff? It was a big deal with him. There's at least a few interviews where people would try to get him to quote unquote explain his movies, and he would just refuse to do it. It's just, I think I'll get the quote not completely correct, but he said something along the lines of, because somebody said, well, what does this mean? And he said something, again paraphrasing, he was like, look, the movie is my statement. You as the moviegoer have to add something into it. You have to bring something of yourself into that. You have to determine whether... I think what he was going for was, what I think the movie about doesn't matter. What do you think the movie's about? And not every movie is like that, obviously. Not every movie is a David Lynch film where you have to... I want to say invent is the wrong word, where you have to do some lifting on the narrative side. A lot of movies tell you what the filmmaker's intent was. Perfectly fine, nothing wrong with it. I love many, many, many of those kinds of films. So I don't ever want to come off like I'm saying, well, if they have to explain it to you, it's not really a great film. Oh, it's perfectly good film. Perfectly great films. Terminator 2, no ambiguity. Great film. Great film. And there's really no mystery about that one. You know, so you don't have to make them all like this, but I don't mind. I really don't mind when they are like that. I enjoy an art film as much as I enjoy a big, dumb action film. And I say dumb as a synonym for enjoyable. I love Hong Kong action films of the 80s. Now, let me tell you something. There ain't much deep about those movies. There really isn't. It's about, okay, we gotta spend 10 minutes with a story of some kind so that we can get to the next action sequence. And that's perfectly okay. I am happy with that. That's fine. So I don't want to make it like I'm some kind of snob who's saying you got to watch all art films and go into deep analysis of the themes. No, you don't. Watch whatever you want. Have a great time with it. That's fine. That's good. You should engage with things that are fun for you to engage with, and not what anybody tells you, me or anybody else tells you, is what you quote unquote should be watching. There is no should be watching. Figure out what your tastes are and run with them. And just like with so many things in life, as long as nobody's getting hurt in the process and everybody's having a good time, who cares? Don't worry about what you should or shouldn't be liking. It's nonsense. It's not the way the world should be. It should be a lot of different people with different tastes, experiencing things in various different ways. That's what keeps things interesting. So that's why, but to go way back to my original point talking about this, Lost Highway is a fairly lightweight Lynch film for a Lynch film. In that, I think you could basically, almost any person who doesn't even watch those kind of movies very often would probably have an idea of what it was about, or what it's, because to me there's really only a couple of things that I think that movie is about, and I think most people would come to one of those conclusions, and that's fine. That's no problem at all. Like I said, that's why it's a good introductory film for people with Lynch who don't necessarily want to go into the hardcore deep end of Lynch strangeness. And I understand why not everybody wants to do that. It's not for everybody. That is okay. Again, I don't think it should be a thing where people feel like, well, I'm supposed to like this, so I should like it. No, you're not supposed to like anything. You're supposed to like what you like. And that shouldn't come with some people want an idea. Well, I'm looking for a film that's like this. Can you give me suggestions? That's a completely different thing. But there's, you'll see lists. The best of whatever X type of movie. Nonsense. The best of whatever X type of movie there is the one you like and enjoy watching the most. That's it. Everything else is just somebody's opinion, which is fine. People are entitled to have their opinions, but doesn't mean that everybody else has to go by them. It doesn't mean they're correct. There is no correct. Not when it comes to art and entertainment. You engage with the stuff that's fun. That's all I'm saying. That's been my line the whole time. If you've seen a bunch of these, you're going to hear me say something similar over and over and over again, because I think it's worth repeating over and over and over again. I definitely feel like there are people who make it out like there's a certain type of thing people should like. And if they don't, then they're dumb or they're missing out or something. You're not missing out on anything. You know how much stuff there is out there? There's a ton of it. You're not going to miss anything. You'll have a great time with whatever you find that you like. Stick with it. Whatever it is you like, stick with it. That goes for movies, music, animals, people. Only stick with the stuff that's bringing you joy of some kind. Makes me sound like a Hallmark card, but it's true. It is true. We're just going to clean these lines up. And then this stream is going to get called. And then I'm going to go make myself some popcorn, because I'm in the mood for popcorn. And I have a popcorn maker. A hand-cranked popcorn maker that makes very good popcorn from Oh, no, I can't remember the name of the company. What is the name of the company that makes the popcorn maker? Oh, no. It's in the other room. I'm not going to go run look at it, but I should remember it. I've talked about it before. I know that. Can't remember now. Sorry. It's like W, but it's not like Whirly, but maybe it is Whirly. Something like that. They're pretty cheap on Amazon, and they're just hand cranked. You got to put, coconut oil in them, and then you got to measure out your kernels of corn. It's not that hard. It takes no time. Then you just stir it until you hear it popping, and then there's a point where stirring it will become difficult, and once it becomes difficult, you stop. And you're done. That's all there is to it. Am I done with the lines? I think I am. I think I'm done with the lines. Let's check really quick, make sure I didn't miss anything. Nope, I got them all. Yeah, they're all in there. All right. Well, hey, made good progress. Made good progress. Okay, well, let's kick on the old be right back thing. Boom! Because we're going to bring this stream to a close for this evening, or whenever you're watching it. It may not be evening when you're watching it, but this is being streamed on a Wednesday night. So that's why I say this evening. That's only if you're watching it live. If you're watching it later, that's perfectly fine. So whenever the rest of the day is for you, I hope you enjoy it. And thanks for being here. Like I said, I really don't care when people show up. If it's live, great. If it's later, great. Doesn't matter. The only thing I would ask anybody who's watching this to do is to take a moment to find a creator that they enjoy and send that creator some form of support. Now, I'm not talking about me. I'm doing fine at the moment. I'm talking about creators who are struggling, creators who are trying to make a living being creators, which is not easy. It's never been easy. It's certainly not easier right now. So if there are people like that make stuff that you enjoy, take a minute to, if you can donate money to them, absolutely do that. If you can't, that's fine. Send them a note. Hey, I really enjoy your stuff. It's beautiful work. Or reshare their work. Follow them on whatever platform they're on. Like or subscribe or whatever, depending on what they're making. All those things. I say this on just about every stream, but again, it's one of those things that I want to say over and over and over so people really understand. It doesn't always have to be money. Money is not the beginning and the end of supporting an artist. Sometimes just a note to somebody is actually going to be worth more to them than money if they're in a place where they're struggling creatively. And they just get that note at the right time, and it gives them that bit of energy to get back on it, and then they make what they were making, and they enjoy it again. That stuff happens. It happens a lot. So don't underestimate the value of just telling somebody that you like their work. Not everybody is in a position to donate money or to support people monetarily. That's fine. Believe me. The creators who are struggling will understand what it is to not have a bunch of money to throw around. So they'll still appreciate anything that you can do for them. So whatever it is that you can do, take the time to do it, because it really may matter far more than you'll ever be aware. So anyway, that's always my message, is find a creator and support them. Because it's easy to just count on creators being there right up until the point where they're not, because they can't afford to keep creating. And that's just a shame. So on that note, everybody, thanks for being here. And until next time, take care.